we mentioned the same thought that we don't have to think about it. And that's why we brought up the subject today, awareness, because there is an old conversation that says, do not cast your pearls before swines. And so that scriptural adage says the swine would not know what a pearl is. And if a swine does not know what a pearl is, it will just chew it and spit it out. And so if you give someone a gift they don't know or don't appreciate, then it could be a wasteful giving. And so it helps if we know who we're giving it to and what we're giving for.
It is not for us who are giving to think that are we giving it properly? Do we give? So I think this doesn't come to my mind when I'm giving. I'm just giving because I think they need this. For instance, my poor school, which I am helping in India, you know, they are learning the language which is not useful, Urdu and Persian. You see, these things are not useful in getting jobs.
Right.
And they are only studying that. So I told them, we'll teach you English and computers and science.
Very nice.
There I should them till they realize, till they get the jobs.
Very nice, very nice. And
so I have not still thought that I should not help them. And this school was started by my mother.
Wow,
my mother was from a very poor family, but she could not go to the school. So she always repented that I could not go to school. She, my mother. And so she always says that we should help these people.
Right. And so she was motivated to give back, motivated by something that occurred in her life.
Yeah.
Yes.
She used to collect mere sum of 1 rupee each. And she used to, every month, 1 rupee also was too much. You know, people were very poor.
Right. And how circumstances change over time, starting with your mom saying she would give back. Welcome, Dedra.
Hi.
Yeah.
And Sameena is on with the owner of the Gargash Hospital. And we're having, did I say it correctly?
It is Zulekha Hospital.
Zulekha Hospital, my bad. The owner of Zulekha Hospital. And they're in Dubai. And if it's Sunday, we're on with Free Talk with Mr. B, speaking about giving back and the art of giving back on Free Talk. We wanted to highlight today awareness, and boy, what a fantastic surprise guest we have on today. And again, she's speaking about her mother being aware that during those times, the limited rupees probably was one of the financial, economical cause of her not being able to go to school. And she says, I'm going to help everyone who can go to school. And up till this day, the daughter, and I would get you to pronounce her name, of the Zulekha Hospital, and helping many to go to school. What a wonderful example of giving back. Sameena?
Yes, absolutely. I just happened to visit Dr. Zulekha today for Eid, and just to spend a little time and convey my wishes to her. And it so happened that it was time for the podcast. And when I told her about the podcast, I just said that, okay, by the time I would reach home and log in, it would be late. So probably just I would just get on. And she very gracefully, as she is, agreed to join us on the podcast. And I told her it's a very normal conversation. And we would be very, very honored to have her on. So it was totally, yes. So I did introduce Dr. Zulekha to Mr. B, who is the host of this show, as well as Dedra, who is a good friend. And she lives here in Ajman. So
that's right. Now I live in Ajman. I used to be in Sharjah, but no more.
So Dr. Zulekha, for everyone, she is also known as Mama Zulekha because she's been here in the country from 1964. pretty much
That's
when nothing was
amazing.
available.
Mama
So
Zulekha,
everyone,
huh?
yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
So I was a 2-year-old at that time.
It is not. It is not the money, you see. It is what you do.
Exactly.
How you can help the people, and you just help the people because they need it. I don't
Exactly.
think why if I should help them or not help them.
Right.
know,
Well, I think that's really great, you know, that you have taken your experience and you have helped so many have with access to opportunities that you didn't have as a young woman. That's very inspiring indeed.
when we help, we don't think that they need, but because we help them because they need it.
Right, right. Of course, you know, and the more you give to people like this as they need it, the better you feel in your heart, you know, because like you said, the money by itself is just money, especially if you've got a lot of money, it's really great and it's fun to have a lot, but I mean, let's face it, the real mission of this life is not just to gather up money. It's to live a certain way and to the deeds that you do, you know, while you're here. Because, you know, like we said many times on the show, that's the only thing that you're going to take with you from this world, right? Is your deeds. You know, all the money is going to stay here and you will leave
You,
with only your actions. And
you
that will
see,
be
I
what
went to the
determines your
university.
eternal future.
I went to the university in the medical college. They were very poor. So I used to help the uh, the patients who came to the hospital, and I used to feel very good. I
Yes,
used to take them. Where is this? The place where they wanted to go, because it was so big they could not find themselves. They went round and round and went back home. So I said, let me do this work. At
right.
least 2, 3 people, I guide them what they want, and they did it.
That's
So
so
this used
nice.
to give me a very satisfaction in my heart that I
Exactly.
helped. So when my son went to medical school, he is a director professor in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
He does
Quality.
uh, he does a lot of studies.
Research.
Uh, he is a scientist. So
Ah, a
when
scientist.
he was in school, the same school he went, I told him that you should also do this. It gives you good satisfaction, you see, and you feel
Exactly.
better. At
Right.
least you get confidence that you can help somebody. And
Right.
his children, I always tell them, whenever you see somebody wanting something, just help them. It doesn't
Exactly.
cost anything.
Right.
It doesn't cost money, just your
No,
assistance.
exactly.
So
Even if you're just
this
giving
is
your
my
support, right?
view.
Yes, it costs nothing to give someone your support to make someone feel better, even to just lend them a helping hand, to do a favor for someone if they really are in need. It is very good. And I think that's a great attitude that you have. And I think that it really is, it goes with the saying, you know, the more you give away, the more you have, because you actually, you know, the positive energy, you know, will just send you back more and more and more, you know, because you've been so generous with your hands open. Right? Exactly.
Right,
That,
right. I always tell my grandchildren, my son has got 2 sons and 1 daughter. I always say, you will get confidence that,
mhm,
yes, I did help.
exactly.
So you feel better.
Exactly.
I
And
don't
you're
think
here
so
in
they
this
ever
world to
want,
do a mission. Sorry?
yes,
Pardon me?
yes. will we get it back? We give because we want it back? No.
No,
That never
absolutely
comes to our
not.
mind.
Mhm. Are we
We
having
don't give
technical-
anyone what we think what will be the result of this. You know,
Right.
because we know that why we are helping them, because they
Mhm.
need that.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, it does, and that does feel good. And I think, people you absolutely need to do things for people, because in this life, it's all about, leaving something behind as well, leaving behind a good example. Also, it's not just about the things you do now, it's how you inspire others as well. I think you have to remember that by doing some of the great work that you've done, you don't even realize how many people came behind you and saw you and thought, wow, you know what, I could do things too. I could follow that example. And that's the wonderful thing, is to inspire others as well, not just to do good deeds and help out others, but to inspire others to make the most, to live their best life, the best version of their life. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Those people who give, I think people like me, I give because I think they need it. And
Yes.
then I don't care for what they can give me back.
Right. And your intentions are pure. That's good. It's always good to have pure intentions when you're doing something helpful for another person, not for an ulterior motive. Right.
Yeah,
Sorry for
absolutely.
that.
No worries. And as we are discussing today, the topic was awareness in giving. So we need to
Right.
be aware about. We were discussing and we were thinking about how aware we need to be about who we are helping and why we are helping. And sometimes it so happens that our giving is not valued or acknowledged. We've discussed this earlier in our other conversations, that even if it's not acknowledged or valued, it's just up to us as a person. Our character is all that matters, and our intention is all that matters. And if people have not valued it, it's their loss. Unfortunately, they haven't realized the value of life themselves.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Sameena. I think that it's all about your intention. In fact, I do think that, it is a shame, when people take it the wrong way, or they don't take the opportunity that you've given them, or they don't follow the advice, or they don't make the best use out of the advantages that maybe you've provided. Oh, I'm very sorry. Why don't you go ahead and carry on?
It's okay.
Somebody's urgently trying to call me at the moment.
Yeah. And what we like about this on Free Talk is that life happens, so we continue with life, whether the doorbell rings or the phone, and it makes a wonderful conversation to let us know we can give back to each other and to the global community. As a commercial announcement, we saw a Dedra on You, Me, and Ice-T. So she'll be coming up very soon with her podcast lead off about this very conversation as she continues on Free Talk. But I do want to appreciate and acknowledge Sameena, because you're performing exactly what we talk about on this show, that you're actually able to go over and give someone the most valuable thing on the planet Earth, and it's time. A little bit of time with the doctor is just miraculous. It's wonderful that you can share that time. And I do want to appreciate both of you for sharing time with each other, because at the end of our days, it's the number one thing we wish we had more of, and time.
Yeah.
So that awareness that we have, or giving back with intention and awareness, says, should we give back our time? And if someone is wasting our time, maybe we shouldn't give it back. And so we really appreciate you being over there. And so how did that come about today?
Yes, absolutely. I think it was one of my best podcasts, which I have been doing all these days that I was able to get Dr. Zulekha on this podcast, which was completely unintentional, but then it was a blessing, and it was, I think, destined to happen this way because I planned my day to kind of leave at that time and be here for a certain time, but then I'm honored to be giving her my time because she values whatever it is, and she really values all the human beings who are with her, who are working with her. I was just telling her, as an employee, you take care of your employees so well, ma'am. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I would like to join, but I don't have time as you people, and my ideas are not so good. You see,
No, I
this
wouldn't
I
say
learned
that.
in my medical school. My medical school, there was a book. It was said, more than the cow wants to suckle, the calf wants. You see, it is the other way. We want to suckle. The woman wants to suckle more than the calf wants. The calves, they yield to suckle. You see, this is very natural if you think about it.
Right.
Right.
That when you are delivering a child, the child wants to suckle, but more than that, the cow wants to suckle. This is it is very strange. It isn't born in you.
Right. Right.
If you think about it, that the book has more to give you than you want to read.
Right. Right.
Very
I
amazing.
think you're saying that
That was a
people really
physiology
do.
book.
Right. People really do they want to give out more than people actually want to receive. And I think you're
Yes.
that's a good point. Right. I mean, if motherhood, for those of us, lucky enough to be moms, I totally get what you mean. I mean, we just, it's sort of a natural instinct, for us to do a lot more for our children than they probably know or appreciate, or you don't know that. I mean, maybe later on as they get older, they appreciate it, especially when they have children of their own. That's when they start appreciating what their parents did for them. But I think when they're younger, you don't really know if they understand that you were bending over backwards all the time, above and beyond, for them always. Perhaps that's the kind of thing that people only remember at your funerals. You don't know. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, like we said before, it's all about intention, and it's all about having the intention to do more good on this planet than bad, or to just be a neutral influence. I always look at it this way, I guess because I'm a writer and I like science fiction and I like fantasy fiction and everything. I think of us as members of the community Earth, or something. And we're here only for a very limited time. And that time should not be wasted on rubbish. It should be spent doing something meaningful. So should it not? And absolutely making your mark, not just in accomplishments, like selfish accomplishments. I mean, really standing for something. I mean, it really does make a difference to stand for something good, while you're here, because like I said, other people will come along and see that and read what you wrote, or they'll hear what you had to say, or they'll meet someone who knew you, and they'll say, oh gosh, I think I could do that. I could follow that example. I could try to be better, and guess what? I mean, that means that you have made yourself, you've niched out something here that was all yours. You put X on that spot and said, I was here. I may not have been here long, but I was here. I made a difference. It does feel good to make a difference. Even if you get nothing back for it, except knowing that you made a difference, right?
In this world, all the good things, the scientists, they do so many things selflessly.
Yes.
If by only thinking that if I do this, it will be good. But you have
Yes.
to do it. The scientists, the discoveries, and so
Exactly.
many, yes, so many things are happening because they think that they are doing and they can do it for the people, for
Mhm.
someone appreciate.
Right.
So yeah, otherwise you see people every time they think before you are doing this, so it will be useful. Then nothing good will be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you have the right intention, I do believe it gets rewarded, in that. And I mean, even if whatever your religious faith is, if it's Islam, Christianity, Judaism, whatever, I mean, I think we all believe in some sort of a higher power that will reward your good efforts, if you really do have the right intentions. Absolutely. Yeah. Very good. Such a pleasure meeting you. You're kind of a legacy, aren't you?
There are people,
Do you think of yourself as a legacy?
they do something because they want the return. There are people, and you see, religious, spiritual, all the things are done to get something.
Right.
In that we get side words that Arabia they are doing this because they want something. That is wrong.
Exactly. I don't think that gets rewarded, I mean, back when I used to, back a long time ago in America, before I changed my faith, I mean, the preacher, in the church that I used to go to used to say the most profound thing. He said, if you go out and do good deeds for praise from other people, you had better enjoy it, because that's the only reward you're ever going to get.
Right.
There's no other reward coming if that was the only reason you did it. So you really don't
you
want.
have a garden. You have a garden. I have a garden with lot of fruits, and I
Yes.
enjoy giving it to everyone. Nobody
Yes.
has asked me, but I enjoy. I get the pleasure.
Sure. That's because it's beautiful. It's not only beautiful, it helps the planet, so people have more oxygen when there's more plants around, right?
Yeah.
And it just improves the quality even of the soil. I mean, everything about a garden. And that's a very good analogy, actually. Gardening
Yeah.
is a good analogy to make,
Right.
because it's selfless work, but it just makes you feel good to see the beauty and the freshness all around. And you know that you've improved the quality of the grounds, the air, the everything, and you're eating something super fresh as well. So even your own health is being improved also. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, right,
Nice.
right.
And
Yeah.
and Sameena, I appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just so I'm just so thrilled that I'm still thinking that how this happened. But then it was yeah, we were destined to have her, and you see how she is a legacy in herself, and everyone we are really really privileged and honored to be a part of her legacy, I would say.
Very nice.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
And this is all right here on Free Talk with Mr. B. We had a good coverage of this conversation, and we will get some of our listener feedback on the same topic next week. And so
Yes.
we'll sign off of our Facebook, and we really appreciate everyone for being on there. You guys have a nice rest of the day, and in your cases, happy Eid in that part of the world and in many parts of the world.
Thank
And-
Thank you
you.
very much.
Right?
I'm
Yes.
delighted to
Right?
be a part of you.
Thank you. And as we go through this time or your holidays of selfless giving and being able to be free to consume goodness, we always think about giving back, and we look forward to talking to you again. And ma'am, thank you so much for being on. I'm in Houston. It's not close to San Francisco, but please give our blessings to your son over there and to continue his good work.
Thank you.
Well,
I would like to be part of you, but I don't have the time. If I get the thought, then
Sure.
I will come back to her.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Sure.
Every once in a while, Sameena will be over there and we will have you on as guests. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, it'll be
Okay.
my pleasure. See
Okay.
you guys. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.